Warrior blood must truly run in thy veins. Tarnished.
Hey everyone, I recently finished Elden Ring, and got the platinum, by the way. It was a really fun experience, and I had some thoughts and I wanted to talk about it. So everything I say will be mostly spoiler free, but I will probably be talking about some bosses and locations by name, but I'm not going to show footage of them on screen or anything just to avoid spoilers. So to start off, I just wanted to give some overall thoughts. I think the experience as a whole was awesome. This game is literally beautiful. This was my first From Software game, so even though it's not Dark Souls, it has that, DNA. Personally, I really loved the difficulty for about 95% of the experience. There were some negative moments where I really felt like some attacks and such were really hard to avoid or felt kind of undodgeable. But for the most part, I really felt like this game is such an addicting level of difficult. I was literally always at that perfect level of difficult where when I would, die, I had that, one more try mindset. And I really do think it's interesting how some people have different parts of the game that are difficult or easy that most people didn't have that experience with. Namely, I beat Melania on my 4th try, but then also spent 4 to 5 hours on the final boss of the game. I won't say that for spoiler reasons, but which, one of my friends that played the game as well was like very confused that I spent that much time on that boss, but for the most part, I really feel like most of the bosses feel very fair and beatable. You just have to get good, which is the phrase sometimes that people say. And this game won't be for everyone, and that's okay, but I really do think it's incredible, and I would recommend it. Really, the only forward I would give is it's okay to look things up. I had a friend who had played the game before, shout out Caleb, asked him tons of questions, but even then there were things that I had to look up, just from, it being not intuitive necessarily what I needed to be doing next. But for the most part, I kind of played it in a Breath of the Wild similar play pattern. I just went and did what I saw that looked interesting and fun, and that turned out to be a really good way to play. So I guess that's a good opportunity. A good opportunity to talk about my route. So the game is pretty much completely open, in that you can, pretty much take whatever path you want through the bosses. Some of them may be really hard for where you're at, but I really went in the way most people went at first, through Stormvale, killed Margit the Fell, and Godric the Grafted, and then I went through Caelid, and then made it to Radahn's castle at the south, but I couldn't fight Radahn yet, because I didn't have the requisites for the festival. So I left and went towards Liurnia, and then fought Renala at Raya Lucaria, and then went north. And I didn't take the lift to Altus. I went through the ruin-strewn precipice. I didn't know that would be a route into Altus at first, but went that way and ended up in Altus that way. Went through Lanedale, fought Margit, or Morgott, and then went to the mountaintops like everyone else. After that, I'm assuming. Went through Farum Azula. I did Malekith as well as Placidusax. I think pound for pound, Farum Azula is one of my favorite areas, if not my favorite. Malekith was just so cool, and he really deserved a 2 health bar fight, I feel. And the Placidusax fight was really awesome as well. I then went to Rykard, and then Moog, and then went and explored the snowfields. Ended up in Haligtree and fought Melania. And then I came back and did Radahn at the festival. This is an area of the game I think is really a strength, but for my playthrough, my first playthrough specifically, I wish I would have known a good order to go to the bosses, because I think this really took the wind out of like a good number of the fights for me. Like fighting Radahn and Moog and Rykard was super easy because of how late in the game I went to them, and I really feel like they deserved a more, like I killed most of I think all of them on the first try, so I wish they were Wish I would have fought them earlier, so I would have given them the fight that they deserved. And I guess one thing along that same line of being overleveled is that if you're gonna go for the platinum in one playthrough, other than the ending trophies, I would look up guides, because I ended up locking myself out of Lich Dragon Fortis Axe on my main playthrough, and then I had to go through all the stuff for Fia and Ronnie on New Game Plus to get to fight him. So closing up though, this game was absolutely incredible. I love how visually distinct and beautiful literally every area in this game is. Like you could show a screenshot of an area from the game, and I guarantee you I'd be able to tell you exactly where it is. Like the yellow trees in Altus, the spiritual vibe of the underground cities, Caelid's red color palette, Lanedale. Literally every area of this game was so cool, and that was one of my favorite aspects about it. And there's literally so many different like stat options. I ended up basically doing a strength build, like just hit enemies for a bunch of damage build, and use the Blasphemous Blade for a lot of my first playthrough after Rykard. But then the second playthrough, when I went through for New Game Plus, I did the Darkmoon Greatsword, and that was tons of fun. So I want to go through and do a pure magic build eventually. There's just so many different ways you can play this game, and I'm excited to see like how the bosses change playing those different builds. But yeah, this game was great. It was a pretty good platinum experience. I think I was about 100 hours in, all in. So for a platinum, that's, you know, pretty good. But yeah, it was awesome. So I just wanted to talk about that for a little bit, and I hope you have a blessed day. Thank you.